So I'm Erin White. I'm one of those people who moved to Guelph to go to school and then never left. That was almost 20 years ago now. And most of what I do in Guelph now is I try to make people laugh, and I've got a couple different projects going on in the world of amateur comedy. So I think what most people would probably know me from is a monthly show called That Time of the Month, which is a feminist, queer positive comedy show that we currently run out of the Cornerstone.
So my name is Cheryl Carthouse. I lived in Guelph about since 2008 actually, and actually used to work in the same building. I worked for a company that did research, and then I quit my job and decided that it was my calling to go back to school. So I went back to school for naturopathic medicine, and since moved back to Guelph because I just absolutely love it here. It's where I feel at home, and I'm starting up a combination of a naturopathic practice as well as a lotions business that is more for therapeutic purposes and has all natural ingredients that people can feel really good about, including in their sort of daily regime.
My name is Karen, and I work at Wellington Brewery, and I'm the event coordinator there. And I started a program called Queen of Craft, which is women teaching women about beer, with all of the proceeds going back to women in crisis here in Guelph. And then Jen and I met through Queen of Craft, and she started to come and do cheese pairings for some of our sessions, and we just hit it off and decided to partner up together and make Taste of Craft, which is independent of Queen of Craft, but it's her and I doing beer and cheese tastings for private parties, corporate events, and other types of functions.
In Guelph? Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm homegrown, born and raised, married, 4 children. Most of them are still in Guelph, and I work full-time for Peller Estates. I manage 2 retail wine stores in Guelph. I've been doing that for 20 years. And I kind of stumbled into the soap making just through another business that I was doing, and it just seemed to make sense. Like, it was just something that I kind of evolved and stumbled into. So yeah, 2-3 cats, and I've had a couple of dogs over the years, and yeah, just the normal sort of family domestic life in Guelph.
Well, my name is Sabrina Thompson, and I am essentially the traveling paintbrush, where I go to different events, people's homes, and run painting parties. So if they have birthday parties, if someone wants to do a bachelorette, or just painting in their garden, I will come and bring the canvases and all of the paint and teach a specific landscape that they've chosen, whether it's flowers or trees. Birch trees are always popular. The sun and the moon, things like that. We will pick something ahead of time and then make art. I've definitely been inspired throughout the years with TV shows, books, strong female characters for sure, like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I'm not gonna lie, she's pretty cool. You know, like that girl's come back from the dead a couple of times, so if I was that cool. But yeah, no, just the determination and the ability to keep going and to just follow your dreams, and you know, you're gonna hit road bumps, but in the end it's worth it.
I don't know if there's any sort of singular person I could point to, because I was lucky that I had a number of people who mentored me and kind of looked out for me as I kind of came up in community activism or in my career or in comedy, where, you know, I think I was lucky that kind of strong women everywhere sort of, you know, in all these organizations would kind of just look out for me and offer me the support that they could. So I was inspired by the achievements of all those folks that came before, right? Because I know that, you know, even there are challenges that we face now that the generation before us and the generation before that had harder, different challenges. So I think all those folks inspire me, and that's where I feel lucky to be a part of that line of, you know, tough ladies getting in there.
I think I get inspired daily by little things that people do that show kindness and compassion and openness. I'm highly inspired by my young daughter, who is just a really resilient character and just seemingly always positive and looking for the positivity in everything that she does, and not afraid afraid to say sorry when she's made a mistake, not afraid to own her own stuff, which is something that I think we can all learn from, is realizing that we are here to make mistakes, and owning them is how you're going to grow through them.
Honestly, some of my patients, I'll just kind of throw it out there generally. When I see them overcoming obstacles, I'm almost going to cry. When I see them overcoming obstacles that they see are so, it's taken them so much of their life to come to this point, and to actually get there and to be able to push through and just make a change that they've never been able to make before. It's really inspiring for me to keep doing the same thing, to just, you know, power through and don't let those fears or anything that stands in your way really hold you back. It's not worth it. It's not worth seeing that vision on the other side and just going for it.
Let's see, probably a few people, but I think, you know, just becoming very, very sentimental was probably my mom. She just recently passed away, but anyway, she was somebody who was very determined, very independent. She was a homemaker for many years before she went out to work, but she was never a lady that liked to sit still. For her, there wasn't enough hours in the day. There was too much to do. She always had a project on the go. So I think that's probably kind of my inspiration, that this is what I feel like, this is what I should be doing. There's always something that you need to do. And I do get inspired by other women that I see in business that have got the courage to, you know, go out there and get that business loan and set up a brick and mortar store and make it happen. Open those doors to the public and make it happen. And there's Sweet Temptations. Jackie is someone that I think I'm really truly inspired by. She's got a lot of guts, and she really made it happen. She really made it happen within a very short period of time. So really, I think Jackie would probably be somebody that inspired me. YouTube for sure, for what I do, because it's a hands-on, it's a manufactured item that I'm making. The tutorials that you get, and the information that's on the internet is really amazing. And I think becoming part of networking groups too, tapping into other areas that I'm not good at, business-wise, marketing, even some of the social media aspects. This is all sort of new for me too. So, you know, tapping into those sorts of things is really important. And of course, you know, reading as many books as you can. You can never know enough about a craft. And the history too beside it, but you've got to know sort of where it all comes from. And I know soap making's been around for a long time. A lot of people associate it with the pioneers and, you know, the colonial days, but that history is all part of, you know, what we're doing now, and why people respect the fact that, you know, a soap maker is, you know, it's a craft. It's a long historical craft. Yeah, it's been around for a long time.
I'm not sure if I really have an answer to that one. Honestly, I feel like it's been a struggling bumble for me to get where I am. There's not really one resource. I think the biggest resources have been networking and talking to other people, and there's a couple of other women I know actually in the naturopathic program as well who are doing something, not the same thing as me, but they have some sort of product line, or they're doing something that's a little bit in the same entrepreneurial field, and they've been an amazing resource, especially for the legal stuff. I've been on the government website for hours on end trying to find out what all the legal requirements are sort of around that. So, you know, the internet and just searching for any of your questions is a really good place to start.
There's a woman in Toronto named Crystal Luxmore who is certified beer cicerone, and she also has started up something similar to this where she does a lot of food pairings with beers, but she is sort of the queen of what's happening in the beer world. She knows, she's so knowledgeable. She is all over Canada doing like morning radio talks and TV show talks, and she's an incredible beer educator. She's a wonderful speaker, and I think she's really inspirational for a lot of women getting into the industry.
To be honest, I think what really helped me most was that I needed to meet other people. I needed to know there were actual live human beings who were doing what I wanted to do, and making it and loving it. So I really think it was important for me to have those personal connections. And of course, like the beauty of, you know, Twitter and all of these kind of social avenues available to us is they can connect us to each other, so that then we can kind of work together in real life.
Yeah, well, the very first resource that I was able to use was the Guelph Wellington Business Enterprise Center. So it's such a long name. They were super helpful. I was able to sit down with a mentor and just talk one-on-one about my idea, just sort of get it out there and talk about the pros and cons and how can we make it into a business. So that was the first opportunity that I had to actually change it from an idea and a hobby to a viable business and something that I can do full time.